Teacher talking sports, what it does, what it do, how we live in. Last night, the Buffalo Bills defeated the Miami Dolphins to move to 2-0, but the main thing that most people were talking about was the concussion suffered by Tua Tagovailoa. It's the one last name I have to pronounce slowly. But yes, of course, he's got his long concussion history, a lot of it from the 2022 season. A lot of athletes, NFL players, former NFL players went to X and numerous other social media sites basically saying that he should retire. Of course, we don't know if he's going to yet. Skylar Thompson took over to end the game, and Skylar Thompson is the backup quarterback. We've heard a report that Miami will look to add another quarterback. Well, I took a couple websites, Yahoo and Sporting News, and they came up with some of the best options to replace Tua. So we'll start with the Sporting News. So Vinny Iyer. 5 best Dolphins quarterback options to replace Tua, from Skylar Thompson to Josh Dobbs to not Ryan Tannehill. So I'm going to admit none of these names are very exciting for Dolphins fans. Skylar Thompson, yes, beat out Mike White for that backup quarterback position. Did start a playoff game for the Dolphins 2 seasons ago when Tua was out. Definitely not a sexy choice to be the starter for the remainder of the season. Well, we don't know if Tua's out for the season, but for the meantime. But right now, he is the backup and would start, with no other quarterback additions. Josh Dobbs, we saw him last year with the Cardinals. Started off the season fairly well, kind of fell off towards the end. The Vikings gave him a chance. He ended up getting benched by them as well, and he couldn't beat out Brandon Allen for the backup quarterback position with the San Francisco 49ers. Josh Johnson, he's traveled all over the NFL landscape, team after team after team after team. Currently on the Baltimore Ravens, and maybe as it mentions here, they did sign Tyler Huntley back to their team, to the practice squad. He's been the time backup to Lamar Jackson, but Josh Johnson, I think of him in the NFC Championship game after Brock Purdy got hurt. CJ Beathard, the free agent, he had his starts with San Francisco back in the day. But Jimmy G might be the best choice here. Suspended the first 2 games, so 1 game down, 1 to go. But we saw how poorly he performed with the Raiders before being benched in favor of Aiden O'Connell. As I mentioned here, if they can count on Stetson Bennett as the backup for Stafford, maybe they could look to move Jimmy G. They don't agree on Ryan Tannehill here. We'll take a look at Yahoo as well. So Yahoo, some of their options. I think they named a couple of the same quarterbacks that the Sporting News one did. So we see that first, of course, every time quarterback goes down with injury, this guy's going to be the first guy mentioned. That is Thomas Edward Brady. I think that's a pipe dream, but I guess you can never say never. I think Tannehill's an option. I actually like him more than some of the options named. Green Bay was rumored to maybe be looking at him with the Jordan Love injury, but they're going to go with Malik Willis. Blaine Gabbert, I believe he's 3rd string with the Buccaneers behind Mayfield and Kyle Trask. Blaine Gabbert has never been a reliable starting quarterback. Again, mentioned Josh Dobbs. And Taylor Heineke, he was going to be 3rd string for the Falcons. They instead released him. Of course, they got Kirk Cousins and drafted... oh my gosh, wake up. Who they draft? This is terrible. I can't think of who they drafted. From Washington. Who did they draft? They drafted Michael Penix Jr. I'm so sorry, guys. Long day at work. Michael Penix Jr. He was going to be third string. Instead, they sent him to the Los Angeles Chargers. I mean, I think he's better than Easton Stick, but as it mentions here, two backups in Heineken and Easton Stick. How did I forget one of the best college quarterbacks in recent memory, Michael Penix? But yes, anyhow, none of these options really would be a guy who you could see leading the Dolphins to the playoffs. I mean, if you remember, I forget what year it was, but Tannehill was out for the year. They brought in Jay Cutler, and Jay Cutler really didn't help that much at all. But even Jay Cutler at that time is better than most of the names here. If most of these guys were the options, I probably would just stick with Skylar Thompson, see what you got out of him. But let me know if there's other names you would like to see the Dolphins perhaps go after that were not listed here. Anyhow, don't forget to subscribe. Tell a friend, tell a friend, tell a friend, subscribe. Like the video, share the video, hit the bell for notifications. I'm out.